Yeah, welcome to the open book, where truth don't hide, stories ride, and every chapter got that power. Turn the page, now you stepping in, where real ones talk and the fake pretend. From viral heat to deep convo, we write the truth, let the whole world know. This ain't just a channel, it's a movement. The open book, every story, every voice.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone is having fabulous night. I know it is bedtime, and so I am not going to be on here long, but I came across this story and I definitely wanted to discuss this because it really, really hurt my heart on so many levels that a mother should not have to endure this. A child should not have to endure this, and family and friends should not have to endure what Adriana Smith has had to endure over the past months. Y'all, I just am in shock that this even happened, right? Because this has not happened. I don't think I've ever heard a story like this. So I wanted to bring it to your attention. Please hit the like button, even if you are in the bushes. Please hit the like button and let everyone know that we are live. Okay. Now, let me pull up her picture. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Thank you for joining. Okay, here we go. Let's see. She has a picture that she took a beautiful picture with her and her son. Okay. And I guess this was during the time when she graduated. Now, with Adriana Smith, back on February the 9th, she began to complain about headaches. Okay. She had been having these excruciating headaches and she was pregnant during that time. So she decided to go to a hospital. Okay. She went to two different hospitals for help and was sent home with medication. Okay, she went to two different ones because a lot of times people say, get a second opinion. So in this case, she did. She decided to go to a second hospital. And all they did was to send her home on medication. Now, according to her family's GoFundMe page, the hospitals did not examine her or run any tests. Okay. Now, that in itself is a lawsuit for both of those hospitals. Okay. Because how are you not, for one, when you're pregnant, they usually take anything seriously. Okay. Anything seriously when it comes to your health because they don't want whatever you're going through to impact your baby. And she was trying to go and get help from these two hospitals. So I'm just surprised that neither one of those hospitals ran any tests on her. Then, y'all, a week later, she was found unresponsive at home on February the 19th, and she was officially declared brain dead. Okay. So then the hospital, they put her on life support. And the officials told her family that she could not be removed from life support because she was pregnant and it would violate Georgia law. Now, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that this lady is on life support? She has been declared brain dead, and they do not want to remove the life support, even at the wishes of her family because she's pregnant and it goes against their law in Georgia. Now, she also has a 7-year-old child. She was 6 weeks pregnant at the time that this happened, just past the cutoff established by Georgia's what they call the Life Act, which bans abortions once fetal cardiac activity can be detected, usually around 6 weeks. Now, she was only 7 weeks. This was not like, um, oh, I just got pregnant by mistake or accident and I'm trying to abort my baby. But this was a life and death situation. And you'll even hear, I'm going to show a snippet also of her mom talking, that her mom even asked the doctor, do you think that there's a chance for her to live if we abort the baby? And the doctor brought up this particular law, okay, that they cannot um, take her off of life support to terminate a baby. It, oh, oh my gosh. So, in the wake of the controversy surrounding her complex situation, there was a U.S. representative by the name of Nakima Williams from Atlanta. Also, U.S. Rep. Ayanna Presley of Massachusetts and Sarah Jacobs of California. They introduced a congressional resolution last week urging the government to clarify how anti abortion and fetal personhood laws should be interpreted by medical professionals, because the medical professionals don't want to lose their license also. They're trying to go by the law. But it seems as though there should be certain circumstances that we're overriding this, okay, for the sake and pain that this family has had to endure. Okay. A lot of people were saying, she deserved better. Adriana deserved better at this point of this tragedy. Her family, along with her new baby, Chance, remains in our family's prayer. Now, let me go back to that. Remember, I told y'all that she was pregnant when she went in. Okay. Well, there was um, good news, in the midst of all of this, that the baby was delivered by emergency C-section on June the 13th, which was only how many days ago? It was like 12 days ago. He is also considered a preemie. Okay. Now, with things like this, because she was already declared brain dead and she's been in that state since February the 19th, then of course her state of life, the food that she would have been eating, taking care of her baby, walking, exercising, she was not doing that. So whatever the mom does impacts the child. Okay, excuse me, impacts that child. So now, y'all, see, this is why that law needs to be revamped, and it needs to have some type of case by case situation, because now this baby is fighting for his life as well. Okay, they named him, the family had to name him Chance. He weighs 1 pound, 13 ounces, and he was born prematurely at just over 6 months. And now he remains in the hospital's NICU. And so after the baby was born on June the 16th, then Adriana was finally removed from life support on June 17th. Okay. Now, I want to play a video. It was basically an interview from her mother. Hey, Brittany, welcome, sis. Thank you for joining. This video is from her mother doing an interview with the news station. And y'all, just hearing the story from her mom's perspective, it really puts, oh, it really broke my heart. Okay, let me pull that up. That's not what I'm trying to do. Okay, right, Brittany. It was so sad. All right, here we go. My computer. Oh, it's crazy.
Woman being kept alive on life support. 11 Alive first told you about Adriana Smith last week. She went to the hospital 8 weeks into her pregnancy, complaining of a headache, and just hours later, doctors declared her brain dead. It's a story that's making headlines all around the globe, sparking debates over Georgia's heartbeat law.
Tonight, our Cody Alcorn spoke exclusively with Smith's mother again about the emotional toll of this pregnancy, and she says the state left them no choice but to continue. He's live now from Emory University Hospital in Midtown. Cody, we know this is a situation that has really been taxing for this family.
It really has, Jennifer and Ron. Adriana was moved here to Emory Midtown on Tuesday. She's expected to remain on life support through August, when doctors plan to deliver her baby by C-section. 30-year-old Adriana Smith is 22 weeks pregnant.
But she's not there. She's not there. But the baby's there.
April Newkirk says her daughter was declared brain dead on February 19th. Adriana was 8 weeks pregnant.
We wanted to know if she was to abort, would she have a chance at her life? And they said there was no chance or no hope for her.
In Georgia, the state's heartbeat law bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected.
So at that point, we continued with the pregnancy that we didn't have a choice or a say about. And I just want to be clear on something. We want her to have her baby. We want her life to continue throughout her children. But at the same time, to see her lay there like that, for that length of time, the grieving process for us, it can't even start. Because every time we go, we grieve and we hurt. And it's just unreal.
And you know, that is so, oh my gosh, heartbreaking, because imagine she's brain dead, but they see her. There were probably people in their family or friends that were believing God that maybe one day she would come back and that God would heal her. And so, let's see, what is this doing? Can y'all hear me? So showing some message. Hold on one second. Let me see. Okay. This is. Can y'all let me know, V? Are you able to hear me? I just want to make sure y'all can still hear me. Gave me some weird message underneath. Brittany, are you able to hear me? Yes, V. It is so sad. Can you? Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So imagine having to go back to the hospital. Okay, she had the baby still in her from February until June, y'all. February till June. So they're going there, and her baby is still living, but she's not there. Okay, her body is there. And I know that each time they went, it's like you have to live that over and over. And so her mom made a very good point there. It was hard on the family. You know, they did not consider that part, keeping her on this life support like this. And yes, like she said, you don't want it to be like you're discounting the baby's life. But then look, okay, the baby is now fighting for his life. He was 1 pound, 13 ounces. We're praying that all goes well with him after this. So that whole law, that Georgia law, y'all, it just really was not good in this particular situation to use that.
It's unreal for anyone to go through this.
April says they named her daughter's baby Chance.
Because to me, he's getting a second chance.
Despite his mom's condition,
The baby is the right weight, a little bit over, which is a good sign. He has his legs, his toes, his limbs. Heartbeat is good and strong. It's just maybe because of the loss of consciousness with my daughter, the lack of oxygen that the baby didn't get. So that's where the cerebellum comes into place.
baby Chance's future is still uncertain.
So the journey is for baby Chance to survive and in whatever condition God allows him to come here in, we're going to love him just the same. And we're going to embrace him.
Adriana does have a 7-year-old son. His name is Chase, and he has no idea what is happening. He still thinks his mom is just asleep. Now, as you mentioned, this whole case has sparked a conversation. It has sparked debate about the gray areas of the state's heartbeat law. And as reported last week, when I first sat down with April, she believes the heartbeat law needs to be re-examined and changed.
Cody, certainly a very difficult situation all the way around there. Thank you so much for bringing us that update tonight. Meanwhile, in a statement released last week from Georgia's Attorney General Chris Carr, his office said in part, there is nothing in the Life Act that requires medical professionals to keep a woman on life support after brain death. Removing life support is not an action with the purpose to terminate a pregnancy.
K-12 has helped a lot with my ADHD because
Okay, so that was heartbreaking, to hear her mom say that, and now the baby, and I love the name, Chance. And her other son, she has a 7-year-old named Chase. And so I wanted to show a little snippet. Now, prepare yourself. Um, a little snippet of Chase visiting his mom. Now, like they just said, the reporter just said, he just thinks his mom is asleep. She's been in this state since February. Okay. So I just wanted to give you the heads up. Prepare your heart. I didn't even want to record the whole thing because I know that's traumatic for him. And I agree, Brittany, he will probably have to get some therapy too because he does not understand what's happening and what has happened. It's heartbreaking. I've lost my mom, and I wasn't by her bedside when this happened. So I can only imagine when someone has to be next to the bedside. But one thing that is a positive out of this is she was able to give birth to her baby, and they are able to finally let her rest in peace. Because the longer, like her mom said, the longer you prolong that, the longer the family grieves. And so now he'll be able to grieve his mom. And in a sense, God is so strategic. The new baby can sometimes be a good distraction. I'm praying and believing God to really heal that baby and let him be healthy, because I remember when I had lost my mom, y'all, and it was 4 days after I had my son. And I just knew, y'all, that I would just be so sad, and I was, but at the same time, probably not the same sad and sitting around and crying all day, because I had a new baby. Okay. And so if I did want to cry, well, my baby crying. He needs to be changed. Oh, okay, I gotta change the baby. Okay, then I had Justice as well. So I had two. But she was going to daycare. I had him with me at home. So I'm working on the obituary. Okay, he needs a bottle. So it's like it helps you through the process. Not that it takes away the pain or the tears, but it is a healthy kind of distraction, a good distraction. And hopefully him and his brother will stay close through life. My mom used to always say that she wanted more than one child. So when she was gone, I would have someone, my brother would have someone, and that is true. We both understand and have the same mom and things like that. So Adriana's her celebration of life service will be held this Saturday, okay, at noon, in Lithonia, in Georgia, at Fairfield Baptist Church. And then following that, she's going to be buried at Hillendale Memorial Gardens, also in Lithonia. So, whew, y'all, this, mm-mm, it just really, really touched my heart. First, people don't realize that, and I know it could be any person, but I know there has been research that a lot of African American women that go to doctors do not get taken seriously in some cases. It's like, let me just throw something at it, and that's not good. Run tests, do whatever you have to do to get seen. And I know she even went to two hospitals and they never checked her out, never ran any x-rays. And I will say this, y'all, I that happened to me one time. I remember we came from a trip, and all of a sudden, now I almost fell on that trip too, y'all. So I don't know if me almost tripping, and when I braced myself, I went up against this wall with my hands out. And when I got home, out of nowhere, it started when we were in Houston, but it really progressed when we got back home. My hands had blown up, like swollen, and it was hard. I couldn't even hardly bend them. My toes and my feet, they were really swollen. So I was like, something is off. You ever get that feeling like something's off? So I went to one hospital overnight. Told my husband, I need to get checked out. I don't know what this is. It was painful. And this lady came in there. She was one of the doctors on duty. Okay, and she came in there, and y'all, I've never cried in a hospital like that before because of a doctor. But when she came in there, now the nurse that I had, he was so nice and accommodating because, I was telling him about the pain and stuff. And when she came in there, she was like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be arthritis, it could be some form of cancer, it could be. I was like, wait, huh? And I'm looking at her like it was like no bedside manner. Okay. These said there are people, there's people who were on life support and came back. Right. That could happen too. That could happen too. Be right. They don't believe her. She possibly could have been saved. Exactly. So I'm looking like, No, she did not. And it was just her attitude and coldness that did something to me. I don't know. I hadn't done anything. I don't know if it was my color. I don't know what it was. I just got that vibe from her. And y'all, she walked out of there and tears came. And the nurse came in there to do blood work. And I said, I'm so sorry. And so I was trying to stop the tears. And she said, You're okay. And so then the nurse came in there. And y'all, I let it out. I told him I do not want to see her. I am not feeling comfortable with her. And I said, Is there any other doctor here? And why did he tell me, No, she's the only doctor here tonight? Now, I've never heard of that being the only doctor in an emergency room. So I think that that was a lie. But my thing is, they didn't run any tests but blood tests. So you never even did an x-ray or, to see if it could have been anything. And so then I ended up the next day, because it did not get better. I ended up the next day, went to another hospital. And so at least at that hospital, they ran x-rays, they looked at my charts, they did blood work and things like that. They even did a referral just in case I needed to go and get checked out for arthritis. But I said I didn't receive that, never had it. And then it just kind of hit me that I think when I was trying to prevent myself from falling like that on my hands, then I just think it kind of was some pressure or strain or something. And eventually it just started going back down. And they gave me pain medicine there. The other hospital didn't even give me any pain medicine. And I mean, at least the second one, they did give me pain medicine when I had went that time. So this lady did try that. She went to one hospital, and then the next time she went to another hospital, they only gave her medicine. Didn't check her out. This could have been prevented, okay, if they had taken her seriously. And I hope that her family sues the mess out of both of those hospitals. Like, seriously, they have a case right here, a really, really big case. Because look at how her life, and on top of that, you're not only going to pay for what you did to my daughter or my loved one, but also the child. She was with a child. How could you allow that to happen and not check her out, knowing that she was pregnant? She's not going there talking about my head hurting just to go to a hospital. No, it's obviously a reason if she's going to two different hospitals. V said I switched doctors for ish like that. Exactly. Okay. I don't play about stuff like that. That second hospital said no malpractice for them. How come? Did they run a test? Because neither one of them, according to the reports, ran tests or checked out anything. Because if she's and y'all really take that seriously too, anything going on with your body, pay attention to it. At least she tried. Some people would have said, oh, well, let me just go get some Tylenol or some, ibuprofen. I'll be all right, and just keep going on with life. She had blood clots in her brain. That is not something Tylenol is going to help. So please, y'all, pay attention to your body. You have something that just won't go away, go get it checked out. I would prefer you to do that than to sit around and it progresses to something else. Okay, please, if we don't learn anything from this, please, even if you have to get a second opinion on something, because one doctor is not listening to you, and you going to another one. But see, with this lady here, man, by the time they sent her home with the medicine, she passed out and never recouped. She never came back. Whew, Jesus. Brittany says some of these doctors just say anything for money, right? But at least the other doctor did something. Well, the only thing they did was just give her some medicine. They still did not check her out. Who's to say that if they had checked her out and found out that it was blood clots, they could have given her some blood thinners, okay? Or she may have required surgery. I don't know, but at least they could have developed a plan. Okay, for it. Hey, boo, welcome. We were talking about Adriana Smith, the young lady who she had started off with headaches. She went to one hospital, they didn't do anything. She went to another hospital, they gave her some pain medicine. Neither hospital really ran tests, but come to find out, she had had blood clots in her brain. And at the time, she was 7 weeks pregnant. I think between 7 and 8 weeks pregnant. Now in Georgia, they have a law that once there's a fetal heartbeat, they cannot abort a baby. Okay, which is why they kept this lady on life support from February, and she finally had the baby via emergency C-section on June the 13th. And people are livid. Her family has had to endure this, going to the hospital, being there, and grieving every time they go. Every time. Because they would not terminate the pregnancy. Now her baby is fighting for his life. His name is Chance. And he's fighting for his life. He's a pound and 13 ounces. And because she wasn't getting enough oxygen, it was affecting her baby. Because imagine, you're just laying there, okay? No brain activity. She wasn't eating, of course. How can she? She wasn't moving around. So that affects your baby. And so now she has left behind two children with something I truly feel could have. We don't know for sure, but it could have possibly been prevented. Hey Boo said they dismiss you at emergency rooms is crazy. Exactly. Exactly. No, I was saying for you, at least they did something for you. Oh, got you, Brittany. Yes, they did when you went to the Yes, okay, I misunderstood you. Yes, they did the second time. I felt a little better about that. And then I started seeing results of it getting better. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't discount people when they go to the hospitals. Some of these people want to discount. Y'all, I went not too long ago. It's probably about a good 2 months ago. Because, like I said, I pay attention to my body. If something is not right, I'm going to get it checked out. Okay. So I kept noticing, I'm like, my back has started hurting out of nowhere. And I said, no, wait a second. I need to go and get checked out. And I told my husband in the middle of the night. Now, y'all know, because I could not lay down properly. It just, something was off. Went there, and I'm glad that I did when I did. Okay. Because y'all, you never know how stuff can progress. You have to go and get checked out. So I'm just glad that I have, baby, my grandmother was like that. I learned that from her. They used to laugh at her because every time any little thing happened, she was going to the hospital. Now, I'm not bad like that because I don't just have stuff popping up like that. But when it does, I'm not playing with it. Okay. That's why I said this year, let me go ahead and get my breast, the mammogram, because I know I was putting that off last year. Let me stay on top of it, and all was well. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's, something extreme. If you go get it checked out, don't be fearful. Okay. Because you would rather be on top of it before it progresses to a later state of whatever it could be. The pregnancy, she was 7 weeks when she went in, and the baby was a preemie, and he was just born on June the 13th, weighing 1 pound and 13 ounces. Yes, hey boo, it really is. Beautiful woman too. Let me bring up her picture again. Sorry, y'all. I'm looking for it. I had it up here already. Okay, here it is. Yes, so that's her son. He's 7. So I guess this was a picture when She had graduated. B said same. I said that. The second hospital you went to. Oh yeah, I was. Girl, thank you. I thought y'all was talking about the girls. Miss Adriana, her doctor, her hospital. Yes, 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 yes. And the second hospital I went to, they are a research hospital too. Okay, so they have some of the top doctors. They do not play. I don't know if I told y'all my testimony, if any of y'all remember, but I well, I thought I had hyperthyroidism, right? For years, I was taking meds for that. Okay, probably a good 15, let's see, about a good 15 years. I had the same guy, okay, same doctor, all of that time. I switched doctors, went to another office, and another PCP. That's what happened. She said, I'm going to refer you out to another endocrinologist. I said, okay. I went there. She did my blood work and everything. I went back for my follow up. She said, now, okay, something I had to look into. So I'm looking like, oh Lord, what is going on? She said, I'm just baffled because I haven't quite seen a case like yours. So I had to do some research. And I also talked to a fellow colleague because we were looking at your numbers and something's not adding up. So I'm like, well, what does this mean? She said, we don't think that you have hyperthyroidism. I'm like, huh? Because all of these years, I have been taking the medication for it. And I'm thinking that's what I had. So she said, no, what can happen is if you have like a certain protein in your blood, it can mimic, and it's rare. She said it's rare. It can mimic like that's what it is. So she said, what we're going to do is I want to take you off of your medicine for a couple of weeks. I got nervous because we get so dependent on the medicine. And so I was like, oh Lord. She said, don't be, alarmed. If you start feeling funny or something, call me, let me know. And we'll call you in and see if we need to put you back on it slowly or something like that. So I said, okay. I got off of the meds and I wanted to see how did I feel. I didn't really feel any effects or anything like that. Went back, my numbers were good. Okay, normal. She went longer, I think 3 months. She told me to stay off of it. Went back, everything was normal. Y'all, I have been off of that medication for 2 years. I said, Lord, thank you. So that's why it's good to get a second opinion because you just never know. Okay. I have a friend also who went to a doctor that was misdiagnosing people with cancer. And I'm going to one day, my friend told me, well, y'all come up to the hospital, come visit, because they thought she had some form of lupus and things like this on her, like stage 3. She was in the hospital room. Her hair was gone, shaved her head. Not that it was falling out, but she went ahead and shaved her head. I'm getting nervous. I'm all up there like, oh my gosh, this is the end for her. And come to find out, she didn't even have cancer. Like, y'all, I'm telling I just could not believe it. Kay said, I recently called daughter's pediatrician to schedule her tonsils to be examined. My in-laws were commenting she was snoring and concerned. Oh, yes. And that could be an issue, yes, with snoring. Because I had to get my tonsils and adenoids taken out too when I was like 16. And yeah, I wish the doctors would have believed her. So sad for her family and fiance. Exactly. And she was a very pretty woman, right? I do all natural supplements and vitamins, but once I went to the ER and they freaked out, I was, wait, what? 24 hours from a coma and 48 hours from dying? I had sepsis and thought I had the flu. Yes. Okay. And let me tell you, hey, boo, sepsis is on my mother's, one of the reasons she passed away on her death certificate. So, y'all, that is not a game. Uh-oh, can y'all hear me? Brittany said my sound was going out. The nurse on the phone immediately was like, no, you don't need the doc to look at her. Let's schedule another appointment for ENT. I was so mad they acted like it was a bother. Oh, wow. I was hyper. Kay said this is why we need more doctors and nurses. The ones on duty are stressed and annoyed. They easily dismiss and overlook things. Yes. Or stuff. Yes. My sister-in-law is a nurse and she constantly tells me the stupid patients coming in. So it's like a 50-50. Eventually they get numb, I think. I think so too. Like when they do unnecessary spinal taps just for the person to not have meningitis, they have to find other ways to test for that. Yeah. And some stuff they have to you have to get specific tests for it. Like it's not just automatically tested anytime they run blood work. They have to tell them what to look for, what they're testing for. So yes, that is something so important. But y'all, I told you I'm not gonna be on here long. Let's see. By the way, Obi, my daughter does not need the operation. She is fine. They just wanted me to go ahead with it. I was so irritated. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, I know. How old is your daughter, Kay? If you don't mind me asking. Boo said big pharma. Yep, is a big business. They given my stepchildren antibiotics for things that I've Googled and antibiotic won't work for, but my husband and his ex-wife never listened to me. Yep, a lot of stuff can be with natural remedies. I remember that. Yeah, because they know they get paid more from you being sick. They don't want you healed with natural remedies and things like that. There's no money in that. But it's money in, oh, if you keep on coming back for the pills, back for this, back for that, Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, she's 6. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's usually the age. My son had to get ear tubes when he was a baby because he kept ear infections. And so the ear tubes, I think one, if I'm not mistaken, they're still in there. They said they'll eventually come out. YouTube V. Let's see, some doctors just throw you pills and diagnosis. That's what they do. Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree. But y'all, I am not going to hold you. I definitely will be in prayer for this family. I know that this is traumatic and difficult for them, but thanks be to God, they are finally able to grieve and lay her to rest this weekend. Also, y'all pray for my husband and his mom's brother passed away, I believe 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, and the funeral is this Saturday. And it seems like it's a hard one for them. They were close, and yes, just keep the family lifted in prayer. I'm going to be there, of course, for my husband, and it's just when you know it's coming, that feeling, that little knot in your stomach. I'm like, oh my goodness. So yes, please keep him and the family lifted in prayer, because I know that they are going to miss his uncle. It was his mom's brother. So so many people, yes, passing away. Yeah, that's very scary. The son looks just like his mother, right? And that's so sad to hear him cry like that. Poor baby. Poor baby. Mm-mm-mm. Well, y'all try to get some rest. I hope everyone has a blessed night. Have sweet dreams, and hopefully we'll see each other tomorrow, Lord willing. I love you all so much. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me. I know it's late as we talk about this story. Make sure you hit the like button. Also subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell, because you never know when I'm going to go live. Thank you so much, Kay. Y'all have a blessed night. Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.